From today, the whole process of getting divorced is changing. You can now apply for divorce without any requirement to place blame on the other party. Before, you had to divorce on one of 5 grounds: unreasonable behaviour, adultery, 2 years separation, 5 years separation or desertion. Well, stats at the moment show the average divorce rate in England is around a third. But what does the change mean for those thinking of getting a divorce, and what impact will it have? Well, joining me is Rita Gupta, a family lawyer. Rita, thank you for coming on. Firstly, it sounds like we're bringing divorce law into the 21st century, but it's not without its critics, is it?
No, absolutely not. I mean, the whole ethos behind this was to bring the laws up to date with society's changing views on divorce. You know, the stigma necessarily isn't attached to divorce as it was previously, and the laws that we had were over 50 years old. So the idea is to bring the divorce laws into the modern times, and there's been a change of use of terminology, for example, whereby we're not saying things such as decree absolute, we're saying final order. And the idea is to help parties who want to separate do that amicably, without having to, as you said, you know, allocate blame.
Yeah. What we might expect, though, out of this is that the divorce rate will increase exponentially because people can find it so much easier to get a divorce. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I don't actually agree that it is going to increase exponentially. I think there will be a short-term spike because there's been a lot of people, I've got some clients, who've been waiting for this change in law. They've wanted to separate as amicably as possible. There's a lot of respect between them. They want to have civil relations on the other side of the process. They have children. Many of them have adult children. They've grown apart and fallen out of love. So I think there would be perhaps a short-term spike. Do I think everybody's going to rush to get a divorce because of these new laws? No, I don't. I think people still think very carefully about ending the marriage. The ramifications of a divorce are still the same, such as reaching a financial settlement or arrangement for their children. That hasn't changed. So I really don't think that the ethos behind these changes or any family lawyer or anybody is promoting that people should exit their marriage flippantly.
But surely if you make anything easier, more people will do it. That's kind of one of the unwritten rules of life. It could help a lot of people in toxic divorces, in toxic marriages, excuse me, and marriages where there is domestic abuse. But it also could devalue the very idea of marriage, couldn't it?
I don't agree with that. I do think that with the toxic marriage situation, absolutely, because it's now been removed that you can defend the petition. You actually can only dispute the application on very specific grounds. That will aid people who are in these toxic or coercively controlling relationships, where the process perhaps has been used to compound further abuse. I think people remain married for a variety of number of reasons, you know, for love, they have children, they have financial commitments. Those things aren't going to change because of the new divorce laws. It's a simpler process. You know, it has been designed to be simpler, but it's not necessarily easier because all of the other factors around a marriage still remain the same. So personally, I don't think that people will be exiting their marriage. And, you know, we always encourage people to think very carefully, to explore perhaps marriage counselling. And there is this period of reflection built in, remember. This is a minimum 6-month process. It's not an online quickie divorce, which perhaps there has been some misconception in the media about. And built in within the 6 months is 20 weeks of reflection period. So you could consider a reconciliation. You could use that time to work on a financial settlement or, you know, work on arrangements for your children. So it's not designed to make people think less seriously about their marriage vows.
Yeah. And of course, in a lot of marriages, there are children involved. How might this change benefit the children?
Well, I always say to clients that you may no longer be husband and wife, you may no longer be in love, but your parents forever. And that, you know, even relates to people with adult children. It's not just for people who've got young children. If you think about graduations, weddings, all of those events in the future, it's important that there's a level of respect and civility maintained. I think that if you have children, it's very important that you show to the children that you're having a separation that is respectful. Setting the tone negatively from the outset by allocating blame in a divorce petition does not help matters in any way. But, equally understand as a family lawyer that this is going to be a very bitter pill for some people to swallow. The people who felt wronged, the people who don't want their marriage to end, the people who have religious convictions, I can completely understand that they may feel that this process has been made far too easy. That wasn't the thinking behind it, but I equally understand how hard that must be for them.
Yeah. Well, Rita, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Rita Gupta, a family lawyer there.